We are global citizens. Traditional borders that defined nation-states have lost much of their significance as barriers to the movement of goods, services, capital and people. We travel more to see the many wonders of the world, or to negotiate and sign multi-billion-dollar contracts in one of the many established or emerging commercial centers around the globe. We buy goods online in foreign countries and have them delivered to our doorsteps within days. We buy real estate in exotic locations. We invest in foreign companies, often listed on stock exchanges all around the world, conduct business with people located in other countries, and look for new economic opportunities in new places and foreign countries more than ever before. We fall in love abroad, marry foreigners, and have children who grow up exposed to more than one culture. We separate, get divorced, and may need to share custody and claim support for our children, regardless of whether we stay in the same country as our former partners. In an ever more globalized world, people and businesses are more mobile and economies are increasingly interconnected. Modern information technology, global transport networks, and worldwide banking systems all have contributed to this development. This development brings with it enormous benefits, but also increased uncertainty and risks for people and businesses alike. We increasingly face questions such as: which law covers the multi-party, multi-billion-dollar mining contract I entered into? In which court can I establish my rights if one of the contract parties breaches its obligations? Can I recover damages against a foreign driver who injured me when I was on vacation? Which law governs my marriage? Is my divorce effective and recognized? Is there a fast and efficient way to have my child returned to me after my former partner took him to another country to live against my will? How can I recover child maintenance payments from my former partner now living abroad? These questions can only be answered when countries make agreements on private international law. Since 1893, HCCH has been an intergovernmental organization which promotes these kinds of agreements between countries by developing international treaties known as Hague Conventions. HCCH has developed conventions on several issues concerning child protection, family and property relations, legal cooperation and litigation, commercial and finance law.
I think it's important to work for a world in which, despite the differences between legal systems, people can enjoy the highest possible degree of legal certainty and predictability. And that's true for both individuals and companies in their cross-border transactions. In all these situations, it's important that one can readily assess the relevant legal framework, find out which law applies to the relevant legal questions, which court has jurisdiction to hear disputes, what they can do with foreign judgments in another state, and if there are cooperation mechanisms in place among states that help overcome the challenges that are inevitably raised by these private and commercial situations connected with more than one state.
States from all regions of the world are members of the Hague Conference, as is the European Union in its capacity as a regional economic integration organization. In addition, an equal number of non-member states are also connected to the organization as a contracting state to one or more Hague Conventions. In the Center for International Justice, The Hague, HCCH has its main office, with 30 employees, and branch offices in Buenos Aires and Hong Kong were opened.
The regional office for Latin America in Buenos Aires was originally established to facilitate the implementation of the Hague Child Protection Conventions in the region, in light of the great interest in these instruments from Latin American states. The office has been instrumental in strengthening the participation of states throughout the region in the work of the organization, but has also proven itself to be an invaluable tool for providing information to Hague Conference experts on regional developments.
My job as representative of of the regional office is threefold. First, I help Asia-Pacific countries to become members of the Hague Conference if they are not already members. Second, my job is to help Asia-Pacific countries to accede to Hague Conventions. I do so both before, during, and after the process of accession. In particular, after the process of accession, I help them to implement Hague Conventions in accordance with best practices. Finally, my job is to voice the concerns of Asia-Pacific countries to the Permanent Bureau in The Hague. In that way, the Hague Conference can be more responsive to the needs of Asia-Pacific countries.
We are determined to continue our efforts to increase the global visibility and indeed the relevance of the work of the Hague Conference, and we'll do that by continuing to promote our existing conventions and instruments, helping with their sound implementation and practical operation, and of course also by developing new conventions and instruments to respond to new challenges and new needs. And these conventions will continue to help implement basic human rights or facilitate cross-border trade and commerce and foreign direct investment.
HCCH will keep on supporting the continued operation of its conventions through promoting, implementing and monitoring of the conventions and education and exchange of information for states as well as professionals on all levels.
We'll keep on building bridges between legal systems and continue to contribute to a world of global citizenship.